This newscast is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Equality Project. Their new survey on housing affordability and sustainability for the LGBTQ plus community in Pennsylvania opens on Wednesday, April 2nd. For details, see the survey page of their website at paequality.com. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. U.S. consumer confidence fell for the fourth straight month as Americans' anxiety about their financial futures declined to a 12-year low amid rising concern over tariffs and inflation. The Conference Board reported Tuesday that its consumer confidence index fell 7.2 points in March to 92.9. Analysts were expecting a decline to a reading of 94.5, according to a survey by FactSet. Incidentally, 7.2 point fall is precisely the amount that the Consumer Confidence Index fell in July of 1929 before the massive stock market crash that happened later that year. Just putting that historical fact out there. The Conference Board's report Tuesday said that the measure of Americans' short-term expectations for income, business, and the job market fell 9.6 points to 65.2. It is the lowest reading in 12 years and well below the threshold of 80, which the Conference Board says can indicate a forthcoming recession. However, the proportion of consumers anticipating a recession in the next year held steady at a 9-month high, the board reported. Consumers' optimism about future income, which had held up quite strongly in the past few months, largely vanished, suggesting worries about the economy and labor market have spread into consumers' assessments of their personal situations, said Stephanie Wichard, the senior economist at the Conference Board. The administration of President Donald Trump has largely played down the decline in consumers' outlook, saying it doesn't necessarily reflect what's happening in the actual economy. This argument is similar to what officials in former President Biden's administration said as high inflation suppressed consumer confidence without undermining growth. In other news, the Pumpkin Fuhrer has nominated a Republican once accused of mishandling taxpayer funds to be HHS Inspector General. If confirmed by the Senate, Thomas March Bell will oversee fraud, waste, and abuse audits of the Medicare and Medicaid programs, which taxpayers spend more than $1 trillion on every year. Bell serves as general counsel for House Republicans and has worked for GOP politicians in congressional offices for decades. His nomination is a brazenly political one for a job that has long been viewed as nonpartisan and focuses largely on accounting for and ferreting out fraud in some of the nation's biggest spending programs. Bell was terminated from his role at Virginia's Department of Environmental Quality in 1997 after a state audit showed he improperly authorized a nearly $8,000 payment to the agency's former spokesman, according to the Washington Post reporting at the time. He also has a history of launching investigations against abortion clinics. Meanwhile, Trump's nominee for ambassador to Panama declines to commit to upholding the country's sovereignty. Kevin Cabrera, President Donald Trump's pick for ambassador to Panama, faced a call from Democrats in his confirmation hearing to commit to upholding Panama's sovereignty and sanity and advising the president to do the same, but Cabrera responded that he would defer to Trump. Cabrera pointed out that Trump has said that all options are on the table when asserting U.S. control over the Panama Canal, but added that part of that included diplomacy. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, the top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said she appreciated a focus on diplomacy, but was worried by the threats of sending military force or coercing Panama to relinquish control over the canal. Cabrera responded, "President Trump is our commander-in-chief, and I stand behind him and his policies." And we close today's news with this story. The Senate Intelligence Committee hearing has concluded with no intelligence being detected anywhere in the federal government. That's it. That's the story. And that's also the news at this hour. If you're watching our newscasts on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the PEP Radio channel. And now back to more music on PEP Radio.